Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or afternoon as it may be. Hello, my name is Michael. I have the honour of being Master of Ceremonies for today's event. Yeah, thank you. I was expecting a wee yeah. Thank you very much. So I couldn't think of a way I could explain how I know John without making us sound like a bit like a couple. Reason being, I first wrote down we met through a mutual friend. Then said met in a city centre pub, but either way, yeah, it does make us sound, yeah, could make us sound a bit like a couple. But anyway, we met through our mutual friend, Mr. Andrew Helm, who is John's former work colleague. I think we first met in the Jingle and Geordie over a few beers. We bonded pretty quickly, it's fair to say, over our love of lower league football from our respective nations. John being a Mansfield town, myself being a Dunfermline Athletic fan. It was also Jeremy Corbyn was still relatively in fashion as well. So, yeah, again, you know, reasonably, that was a good way of bonding for ourselves. So, the reason I'm standing in front of you now, bit of a convoluted story, so do bear with me. I'll be as succinct as I can. We were watching Scotland-Georgia in the Cask and Barrel in Edinburgh, which is a great pub if you've never been to it. So, for those of you that don't remember or aren't into football, the game kicked off and some sort of bizarre monsoon hit Glasgow. And they played for about 10 minutes and then the referee decided that pitch is unplayable, so the players would need to return to the changing rooms. So, we had about an hour to kill before the game kicked off again, which we didn't know about. However, we covered many topics, politics, other football, and then inevitably we did get on to the upcoming wedding. So, we were chatting away, and it was potentially, I think it may have stemmed from the fact that we were looking at a lot of drunk Scotsmen on the telly who were jumping around singing, I think basically any song that had something to do with rain. I think the Hampden DJ was just Googling songs with rain. So you had Travis, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, because it's not easy to keep a group of Scottish football fans entertained with no football and, more importantly, no alcohol. So we were chatting away and John made the amazing revelation that he was going to wear a kilt for his wedding, which I was absolutely delighted about, you know, coming from his adopted home nation. So we're chatting and I said to John, so John, what's the tartan? And he said, oh Mike, just keeping it very traditional, she'll just be in a white dress. Old ones are the best, eh? So believe it or not, I did tell him that joke during Scotland-Georgia, just in the interim. And then I think it might have been Andrew made a joke about myself becoming Master of Ceremonies. And John said, well, it's funny you should say that, Andrew, because, yeah, myself and Rosie were having similar thoughts. Says I, thinking he's obviously joking. Obviously he wasn't, because I'm standing here. So for the week, there was a bit of a gap between the Scotland game and myself coming up, getting a message. So for the next couple of days, I just kept thinking to myself, like, no, he was joking. He's not serious. He's not serious. No, he's definitely not serious. He must have been joking. No, he's not doing that. However, he sent me. I got a WhatsApp message from him about a week or so later, saying, Mike, please respond to the wedding invitation and will you be my MC? Quite why he thought the man who hadn't responded to his wedding invitation would make a good MC, well, that's obviously John can answer that one later on. Yeah, so I do remember first hearing about Rosie in a pub in Glasgow just after my team Dunfermline had been beaten by Partick Thistle. So it was an absolutely awful game in an awful stadium, awful weather. So we were standing in a pub and John was waxing lyrical about this new girl he was seeing, and I probably had quite a stony face going, yeah, fine, aye, sounds good. Okay, yeah, happy for you, John, yeah, great. And he then dropped the bombshell that she's a primary school teacher. Yeah, cheers for primary teachers, yeah. Full disclosure, I'm also a primary school teacher, so the things I'm about to say, I am allowed to say it. So she's a primary school teacher. She said I remember him saying that she was at a private school in Madrid before she came to Edinburgh, and that she was now teaching in Wester Hailes. So just for anybody who is unaware, who's not from Edinburgh, Wester Hailes has a great reputation. Recently, it was twinned with Las Vegas, of all places, as it's the only two places in the world you can get sex in exchange for a bag of chips. When I was writing this, thoughts did strike me. About 10 years ago, when I was working as a classroom assistant with a view to get into teaching, I was on a night out with teachers from the same school, and one of their husbands came along, and I got chatting to him, and I explained I'm a classroom assistant because with a view to go into teaching. And I said, "Oh, that's good, son. Well done. I'm happy for you." And I said, "I mean, I think it's hard work, but I think it's a great profession. I'm really looking forward to it." And he did this. And he said, "Son, if you think being a primary school teacher is hard work, try being married to one of them." Because, as John's probably figured out by now from living with a few years with Rosie, that there is responsibilities you have as the other half of a primary school teacher, laminating being one of them. There's a machine that everyone in my flat, my first flat when I became a teacher, there was a machine that sat on the dining room table that nobody, apart from primary school teachers, knew what it was. Everyone to a man the first time they walked in after I moved in said, "What is that?" I said, "It's a laminator." And copious amounts of evenings when you first become a teacher are spent laminating and then cutting things out. Also, in case John's not figured out by now, and I'm sure it has been the case, John, there will be one child in every class that Rosie teaches that you will get to know very well. Yeah. For the purposes of this, we'll call him Damien. So Damien is the child that's quite quiet in the first few weeks, goes under the radar, you get a wee honeymoon period with him, and then all of a sudden he thinks, right, game time. And he starts misbehaving, he starts throwing things, he starts swearing, doing whatever it is that he does. And your other half will become who the teacher moans to. So by the end of the year, you will feel like you know Damien very, very well. One of the reasons being that the Damiens of this world are never, ever absent. They are always in, are they not, Rosie? Yeah, exactly, yes. Absolutely. So just a few tips from me about being the other half of a primary school teacher from one to the other. I teach in West Lothian, and we finished off, we had our October week last week, and we finished off telling them, talking about what we were going to do during the October break. And they told me their usual things about going on holiday and whatnot, and I said, feeling quite proud of myself, well, primary 7, I'm actually going to be an MC at my good friend's wedding. And they looked at, they sort of knew to respond, "Oh, that's good, that's good." And then one of them put their hand up and said, I said, we'll call him Riley, because that's his name. Said, "Yes, Riley." He said, "Mr. Lewis, I didn't know you could rap." It's like, yeah, went over their head. But anyway, as I said, it's my absolute pleasure speaking here today. So I believe we're going to get started with the speeches, and I believe it is father of the bride, Robin, first up. Robin.
Mic'd up, is it not?
Big one.
Is this not mic'd up now?
I don't think I'm not sure it is, no.
Is it not on?
I don't think it is, no. Well, if you turn it on, it will be.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming. It means everything to Rosie and John that the people they have shared their lives with are here with them today to celebrate their marriage. Now, I was speaking to my neighbour the other day, who's incidentally here, and he asked, what will I be wearing to John and Rosie's wedding? Which was a bit strange, because he's not really a man known for his interest in fashion. I said I was meaning to wear my kilt. Oh, you know what's coming. Oh, I see. What's the tartan? St. Michael's. Anyway.
Sorry.
That's okay. Is this working, by the way? Is this working?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Rosie is a multitasker, unable to laze around. Hence, 9 months gestation was far too long for Rosie. 6 months would be fine. Well, it wasn't, and Kirsty and Rosie spent the next 100 days in Ninewells Hospital, giving her family a few worries. I remember driving home from visiting Rosie in hospital during one of her poorer periods. We dropped in for petrol at our local pumps. Now, the cashier's granddaughter had also been prematurely born, and she inquired, "How's Rosie today?" "Not so great," I explained. "Don't you worry, son, she'll be fine. And not only will she be fine, she'll be top of the class." Well, she bloody well would have been, had she not landed in the smartest class Brecons High School had ever had. Some here may not agree with that statement, but what that class has provided her with is lifelong friendship, which she treasures. However, Rosie did excel at school. She's incredibly well organised. Her best ever Christmas present was a Dymo tape machine, a wee gadget you could print plastic labels with. Well, everything got a label. How we would have ever have known our dog was a dog without that sticker on its head, I don't know. We remember the 6-year-old Rosie being very troubled that her primary 2 teacher was poorly prepared for their upcoming school assembly. A worry that turned out to be justified. So it was no surprise when Rosie chose teaching as a career. After 4 years at Edinburgh Uni, where she managed to squeeze in some studies around a hectic social life, she duly graduated. Wouldn't it be fantastic to have Rosie as your teacher? She's so loving, caring and compassionate, wanting the best for every child. The kids must absolutely adore her. She's been called everything by them. From, "We love you, Miss Honey," to, "You're annoying me, you curly fucker." Primary ones. What, you can't see that in the signal? Oh. Never afraid to travel, she'd set off on her own to work at Camp America, taught in Madrid for 2 years, trekked in Peru to Machu Picchu with Ashley, climbed volcanoes in Indonesia with Grace. Her goal was 30 countries by the time she was 30, without any thought for her parents' nerves. Although I think we were able to stop her travelling in Colombia. With that beautiful, unique head of hair, she would sure have been targeted by the kidnappers. One of Rosie's greatest qualities is as a friend to so many. She's been a bridesmaid 7 times, and I don't think she's finished. You know, if you have Rosie as a friend, she will never let you down. If you've invited her to something, she'll be there, no matter how busy she is, and if there's nothing on, she'll get the party started. I must share this story with you. It was the time Rosie and her friends attended tea in the park. Rosie and one of her pals were walking down a busy aisle when they were approached by this lowlife trying to sell them drugs. I think they politely declined his offer, after which he wished them well and have a great festival. As the pair were walking away, Rosie turns to her friend and says, everyone's so nice." Well, Rosie, not everyone is so nice, but you are. You have a heart of pure gold, and you light up every room you enter. Your mum and dad and sister could not love you any more, and we're delighted to see you so happy and radiant and a wee bit sparkly today. Now, first time I met John was when we were picking up Rosie and him from a party at Lauren and Thomas's house. John negotiated the single step down from the house very carefully. He hardly stumbled at all. I thought, that's good, you'll have a common interest with Rosie. However, I can forgive him that. John's first meeting with the Brecon girls must have been truly daunting. Kirsty and I could not be happier to welcome John as our son-in-law. We are grateful to him for making Rosie so happy and making her complete. Now, John is a very intelligent, a really clever guy. And he knew that to get a decent further education, he was going to have to come to Scotland. He gained a place at Edinburgh Uni to study history, and after graduating, he started work in the city and did not return to Lancashire. John is very calm, aren't you, John? Today? John is very calm, completely unflappable, very kind, and never has a bad word for anyone. I don't think he's a malicious bone in his body. And I'm sure you all agree he's looking rather splendid in the kilt today. John is his own man and will do things when he has decided. For example, John and Rosie had been together a few years. They'd bought their house together. So when John gave Rosie a trip to Paris, the most romantic city in the world, for her 30th, we could have even forgiven for thinking proposal. I don't know if Rosie was thinking the same or not, but I know she'd got her nails looking fantastic. The last night of the trip was a candlelit dinner cruise down the Seine. This had to be the moment. But no, John had decided a rainy day in the noon would beat Paris any day. John has another admirable quality. He's incredibly loyal and faithful, even under the most trying of circumstances. Sadly, he extends this to his first love, whom he is still passionate about. He's often to be seen trawling social media to glean any information on his love. Even today, he will be wondering how Mansfield Town Football Club got on in their lunchtime kick-off. Do you know the score, John? 4-1. Now, rather tragically, 3 football supporters all arrive at the gates of heaven at the same time. There's a Manchester United fan, a Liverpool fan, and a Mansfield Town supporter. St. Peter addresses them. You, the Man United fan, it's eternal damnation for you, my boy. And you, the Liverpool fan, you must burn in hell's fires. He then ushers the third one through the gates of heaven. Now, on the other side, the third fan says, this is brilliant, but why me? St. Peter responds, you are the Mansfield Town supporter, my son. He nods. You've suffered enough. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please be upstanding for the toast? Bride and groom. Okay, you can sit down now. Okay. Oh, just wait a minute, hold on. 14th of October, 1066, Battle of Hastings. 14th of October, 1983, the birth date of one of our guests. They say life begins at this age, so let's sing happy birthday to Zeke. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Zeke. Happy birthday to you. At this point, the cake arrives. Oh, shit.
Thank you very much. Big round of applause for Robin. Yeah, possibly one of my favourite moments of the ceremony today was when my good Chris, who'd been following the Mansfield score, given that it was the Nottinghamshire derby, went 4-1. won. And John went, I know, it's fine, don't worry about it. Rosie wasn't there, by the way, just to his dad. Anyway, time for the groom's speech. Mr. John Mottram.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Afternoon or evening, I'm not sure. Thank you, Michael, for being our MC, doing a great job. And thank you, Robin. I knew it'd be a tough act to follow. There was a lot of laughs there. That was good. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. It means so much to me and Rosie. We know so many of you travelled great distances, time zones, having sought out childcare and having to travel up on the Transpennine Express from Manchester Piccadilly is something I wouldn't wish on anybody. So it means so much to us, so thank you. It is an immense amount of pride that I stand here as Rosie Arbuckle Mottram's wife, husband, groom. And Dunoon is a great place to propose to people, for the record. It's almost 51 weeks to the day since I popped the question to Rosie, and it's been quite a year. I can't believe it's been almost a year since I got down on both knees and I begged Robin if he could pay for this wedding. So thank you, Robin. There's quite a few toasts to get through. I'm mostly just thanking everybody. So just remain seated for all of them apart from the last one, and we can all stand up. So firstly, I'd like to thank the mother and the father of the bride, Robin and Kirsty. Thank you. Honestly, it doesn't seem anywhere near enough for the amount of work that you guys have done for this wedding. Like, we and Rosie literally could not have done this without you. And thank you so much for the welcome into the family of Robin. You and Kirsty have done so much for me and Rosie over the years. And you've hosted me for Christmas. You've put me up after weddings. Kirsty, you've dealt with way too many of my hangovers that any mother-in-law should ever have to deal with. Kirsty's hosting skills are so legendary that even when I'm in my own home, she will come and offer me food that she has bought from her own home. So, Robin, thanks so much for your kind words, as I said before. You must have been a bit nervous when Rosie introduced me as a Mansfield Town fan. Like, you're fully aware that I had 30 years of disappointment and heartache behind me. What could this man possibly offer his daughter? But you're open-minded, and you've been nothing but supportive of me and Rosie. So we're both so generous, and honestly, like, we just can't thank you enough. And thank you for Rosie. I was so... Honestly, I thought I was going to have a heart attack when you were bringing her up the aisle, Robin. She looked so beautiful. I'll get on to Rosie in a bit. But, like, I feel like Robin and Kirsty, Rosie is truly your gift to the world. Like, she may be an expensive gift, and I'd agree with that. But she honestly makes the world such a brighter place, and it reflects so well on your parenting skills and just the values that Rosie has. Like, she's obviously the best. But as I said, later. So thank you, Robin and Kirsty. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank my parents. Thank you for your amazing skills for making me the amazing guy I am today. Yeah, I'm really a testament to your ability to raise a child. No, seriously, like, Mum and Dad, Anne and David, you know, like, with me and my two sisters, you've made so many sacrifices over the years for all of us and all the family members. And I just hope you're having the best day that you guys deserve. Dad, thanks for not following through on your promise to take us to child services whenever the electricity bill came in. Mum, thanks for not making it too obvious that I was your favourite out of the three of us. But yeah, like, and thanks so much for loving Rosie. Like, whenever I Skype home these days, the first question that my mum and dad ask is like, oh, is Rosie around? And I'm like, oh, sorry, no, she's out, because she's always out. And I can almost see the disappointment. I was like, oh, well, how's it going, son? But I'd be the same. So please remain seated for a toast to the parents, please. To the parents. Okay, who've we got next? The bridesmaids, Rosie's bridesmaids. Alex, Alice, Daisy, and Emma. Honestly, thank you so much for everything you've done for Rosie in preparation for this wedding. Thank you for getting her to St. Giles on time. That was a massive relief when the Eurovision soundtrack was piping in on the organ. And yeah, I heard you organised an amazing hen do for Rosie in Bristol. You did such a great job. I remember I was on my stag do the same weekend, and I remember in Amsterdam airport just, feeling a bit down, like the weekend was over, and I was just scrolling through Instagram, laughing aloud at some of the videos and photos that was posted. And it must have been daunting organising a hen do for 25 people, because Rosie's got so many friends. I think it's fair to say you nailed it, and I think even the queen of organisation herself, Rosie, was really impressed, so thank you so much. I'd like to thank my groomsmen, Michael, Angus and Liam. Thanks, guys. Thanks for also organising an amazing stag do. For those of you who have never visited Amsterdam, it is a charming city filled with enchanting canals, and there's the real centre of Dutch culture. Well, that is what my groomsmen tell me anyway. I couldn't really see much of it because they put me in silly outfits the whole weekend. I did keep the Ned Flanders trousers for my work rotation. And Liam, my best man, thank you so much for keeping me calm this morning. The heart was going a bit. And I think we all enjoyed your Where's the Rings little dance there. I think everyone who knows you is super excited to hear your speech. I can't wait to hear it. Okay, next we've got the flower girl, Gabriella, and the two page boys, Sam and Isaac. You guys really did a great job. And thank you for both of my sisters, Helen and Catherine. Catherine, thank you so much for doing the amazing poem today in St. Giles. And Helen, thanks so much for helping out with Gabriella and Isaac. And I do always say that my parents brought me up, but my two older sisters definitely dragged me up. So thank you so much. And so here's our second toast to a lot of people, so you can drink a bit more for this one. So to the bridal party. To the bridal party. And now to the main event. To Rosie. Rosie, as I was saying, you looked so beautiful today walking down the aisle. I think everyone agrees. Doesn't Rosie look beautiful today? But that's not a surprise because Rosie looks beautiful every day, of course. Rosie, I'm so proud of you for all the work that you've done for this wedding. You should have seen it yesterday when we were meeting up with the event coordinator here. Rosie was just, any question Rosie just knew the answer like that. And to do it, working full time with the kids in Wester Hales, and coming home and then poring over spreadsheets, dealing with design decisions, sending emails, having phone calls, going to meetings. I'm sure I don't even know half of what you've done, and I think you've just organised such an amazing day. For those of you who don't know how me and Rosie met, we met on Tinder. Yeah, thanks algorithms, you worked. It was almost 5 years ago, and I was in my late 20s at the time. I knew what I was sort of looking for in a partner. So in my profile, I just wrote, I'm looking for someone who's kind, intelligent, and might like the occasional pint. And after my first date with Rosie, I knew she ticked all the boxes and then some. Of course, it took me to my third date with Rosie to realise that she thought I meant the occasional pint of gin. So we went on a few more dates. We started seeing more and more of each other. We went on our first holiday to Stockholm, and we've been on many adventures since, as you can guess of your table names. It just got better and better, and she got under my skin. But that's not... It wasn't all plain sailing. We've had our bad moments, haven't we, Rosie? We've had a few trials to overcome. There was a time that Rosie locked me in her flat. I had to call in sick at work. I thought that was probably better for my career than the truth is that I'd been locked in a flat by some woman I'd met on the internet. And what made it worse, it was a parents' evening. So it was a real sort of like Nelson Mandela, Robben Island situation I was in. But yeah, eventually she came home with a smile, a pack of beer. And yeah, we overcame Rosie. I could honestly write an essay on the amazing qualities that Rosie has. She's popular, she's kind, she will do anything for her friends, she's nurturing, she knows how to get the best out of people. For example, rather than saying, John, you need to lose your 3 pounds before the wedding, last Christmas she bought me a Fitbit. And knowing that I'm a data man, she let the data speak for itself, and that the data very much spoke for itself. And as Robin said before, she's never without an invite. She's a member of a brunch club and also a separate dinner club. And she's got a food blog, #Taste of Edinburgh. And despite all of these culinary delights, she's still incredibly slim. What's just a secret? So Rosie, I'm getting to the end, don't worry. You are the love of my life, and as Robin said, you light up every room you go in, but you've lit up my life every day since we met November 5 years ago. I feel as though those are 2 Taylor Swift references that I didn't get in, but I'm sorry. But we can keep the Christmas lights up till January now. So please be outstanding to the bride. To Rosie.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Mottram. Thank you very much. Before I invite the best man up, I do feel the town of Dunoon needs a bit of sticking up for, because it's got a bit of a slagging. It is probably the most joked about town in Scotland, because it's Frank Sinatra's favourite town. No? Fly me to Dunoon and let me play. Or Pink Panther's favourite town? Anybody? Dunoon, 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 Dunoon. Anyway, as we're all looking forward to the speech from Mr. Liam Crossley.
Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me at the back? Don't worry if not. The silence from the front should reassure you you're not missing much. When I checked us into the hotel, myself and John, last night, I said, we're here for his wedding. And they said, do you have reservations? I said, I hope not. It's a bit late now if he does. For those who don't know me, I am Liam Crossley. I've known John since we were 12 years old. I spotted this gentleman across the school ground, a look of quiet resignation on his face, as though he bore the weight of the world on his shoulders. In conversation, it then became apparent he had a wisdom beyond his years. I said, I think we may have something in common here. By any chance, do you also have 2 older sisters? Ever since, John has been like the brother I never had. Well, he has been the brother I've never had. I've often wondered how that's contributed to us being such firm friends. I think I know. My mother has a theory. Having sisters has knocked the corners off me. That is to say, it's made me a well-rounded person and made perhaps me a little less rough around the edges. And I'd say that's true for both of us. It's imbued us both with a lot of the traits that make it easy to form relationships. John is free of machismo. We know how to love and care for the women in our lives. I've never known John to seek praise or complain about the ways your loved ones need you, John. You never picked me as best man for my organisational skills. John was, in fact, my first Facebook friend, mostly because he set up my account. John, your missing corners have made you endlessly patient, hospitable, generous. Sorry, I can't read your writing there. Hilarious, fun, and above all, kind. I think these are traits that find the firmest friendships among kindred spirits. Rosie, just don't expect John to be quick to defend your honour. I remember a holiday in Naples where I was subject to an attempted mugging. After I fought them off, John came running over and said, "Are you all right? I saw the whole thing." I said, "Okay, thanks. That's what I really needed, a witness." Actually, I was reminded of the attempted mugging on the Stag when we visited Arnhem for a football match. They commemorated the war effort with paratroopers on the pitch. I thought it was nice of them to drop in. I think you will all agree that today Rosie looks radiant, and John is here. When John first told me about Rosie, I'd come up on the train late in the evening. We were walking home. He was waxing lyrical the whole way. He said, "I've just started seeing Rosie. I can't wait for you to meet her. She's kind, she's clever, she's funny, she's spontaneous. You're going to love her." Even if John didn't know it then, I knew we were never going to make last orders. They do indeed say the firmest friendships make the firmest foundations for lasting love. John and Rosie have some of the firmest foundations I've seen. I've never seen you argue. You're slow to anger, quick to laugh, patient and kind with one another. Lean into those strengths, you'll go far. John, Rosie is definitely cut from the same cloth. I'm proud to call both of you friends of mine. But John, I'm glad you've made a new best friend. And while I continue the quest to find my own, I hope Rosie has got sisters. Who have knocked the corners off her. Lastly, I'd like to thank David and Anne and Kirsty and Robin for raising 2 such wonderful people. May we please be upstanding to toast the happy couple. To the happy couple. The happy couple.
Thank you, Mr. Liam Crossley. Excellent. Just to finish up before food, Rosie, I know you would like to say a few words, so.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. The bride's written a poem. That's right, I'm pulling a Meghan Markle while wearing a dress head to toe in sparkle. I'm going to try my best to continue in rhyme, though I promise to not take up much of your time. Thank you all for being part of our special day. From Canada, France, Amsterdam, you've really travelled out of your way. We are so grateful to have you here and in our life to watch us tie the knot as husband and wife. Back on a rainy November evening in 2018, John charmed me with his wit and good looks. I felt like a queen. Fast forward 5 years, and with countless good times shared, our love for each other has been declared. Together, we've shared many happy adventures, holidays, concerts, our first home, and the occasional Monroe. I can count on John to brighten dreary Mondays, lockdowns, and tougher times, I know. I'm sorry for laughing in Stockholm when you slipped on the ice, and again when you paper cut your eyeball. That wasn't nice. While wedding planning, I panicked if the napkins would match the bridesmaids and the ceiling above. John stayed calm and reminded me the reason we're getting married is love. For every anniversary of our relationship, John has made me a mixtape CD. Can't wait for Now That's What I Call Married, released in November 23. Thank you to Mum and Dad for all that you do. For helping with each wedding dilemma, I am grateful to you. At school, you supported my orchestra, tennis, swimming and more. And in preparation for this, helped me win the Scots Poetry competition in primary 4. In high school, I was asked last minute to read at Burns Night. Dad proudly lent me his copy of Tea Fart, which was all about shite. Thank you to all of the Mottrams. You've welcomed me with warmth and ease. Being officially part of your family will feel like a breeze. I love being your auntie, dear Sam, Isaac and Gabriella. Your efforts to make me cry at your cuteness today were absolutely stellar. Thank you to my stunning bridesmaids for being there for me to no end and for planning an iconic and hilarious Bristol hen weekend. To my numerous loyal girl gangs, family and friends who are here, as a token of my gratitude, enjoy the beer and good cheer. In our wedding today, there are friends we miss dearly. They would have been... Sorry. There are friends we miss dearly. They would have been the first ones on the dance floor, clearly. So, before we are all overcome with emotion, it's time to get the meal in motion. Today has been an absolute dream come true. All's well that ends well, to end up with you. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please stand to toast your wonderful selves and my new husband? Cheers. I just turned it off. Sorry.
Okay, thank you very much, Rosie. I've heard of poetic licence, but intelligent, charming John, I mean, you know. Anyway, no saying any more. Okay, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We've come to the eating part of the evening. Before we do, we're going to say grace. So if you please bow your heads, that would be lovely. So this is the Selkirk grace. Some hae meat and canna eat, and some would eat that want it. But we hae meat and we can eat. Say, let the Lord be thanked. Amen. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoy the meal. Thank you.